And welcome back to my channel. Today I bring you the sewing video of the 6 pieces dress we made earlier. So if you've not seen the cutting video, please, I'll drop the link in the description box below. So if you've seen that video on how to cut a 6 pieces dress without joining at the waist, so this is a video on how to couple and sew your 6 pieces dress. Alright, so right now we're cutting the breast part. Remember I said this dress is going to be padded, so I'm cutting the breast pad for the 6 pieces dress. So I place the side front on my breast pad. Alright, so the breast pad was folded into two and I folded with 6 inches. Alright, so I'll now trace the shape of the bust cup or the bust shape. Okay, so I just trace out the shape of the bustier. You know the Princess Dart bustier that we drafted. Alright, so I'll just shape out the curve of the Princess Dart. Alright, so I'll place it carefully so that you would see, like so, and use your chalk to trace out your curve or your cup, your bust cup. Alright, so when you're done, you take it out. Then from the end, alright, you now curve it back. Now note that the bust part or the breast part starts from the under bust. Alright, so you're placing your part directly from the under bust. That's why you start drafting or cutting out your part. Okay, you don't want the part to exceed the length of the under bust. So I'll just cut that out. Remember, I just folded 6 inches, then traced out the shape of my bustier cup, then curved from the hem to the upper part. So that's that line that I'm cutting out now. We just make a D shape in form of a D or an inverted C. So I'll notch the part that is the cup. I also notch the lower part so that when I'm joining, I will know the part that fits into which part. So the part that I notched now would be on the side of would be on the bustier. All right, then the lower part, that the notch on the lower part is to indicate that this is the lower part of the breast part. So this is what I would do. This is the part that has the notch. Okay, so to each part I'll just attach its corresponding breast pad. Now we want to cut the center front, the padding for the center front. So just like I did for the side front, I'll place my wording on fold. This is wording, this is thick wording. All right, so for padding you can use your thick wording, your light wording, your bra foam, depending on the thickness you want to achieve. Okay, so if you want to wear this without a bra, okay, you can use a thick wording. Right, so I'm using a thick wording, and I would choose if I want to wear a bra or not because the padding is already thick. All right, so from the shoulder point I marked the under bust. Remember I said the bust pad or the breast pad will stop on the under bust. Okay, you don't want to exceed, don't want to make that kind of padding that your breast pad exceeds your under bust measurement. So placing my wording on fold, then I'll place the center front. Remember, I've already marked out where my under bust measurement ends, right, or where my under bust measurement is. So I'll place it directly at the tip or at the end of the bust pad or the breast pad or my wording. That's what it's called. So from there, I'll do what I did for the front. For the side front, I'll still shape out the curve around the bust area. So you make sure that the center front of your fabric also matches the center front of the pad you folded, and I just trace. Then from the neckline I came down by 1 inch because you don't want your pad to get into your neckline, and you just cut that out. So that's how to cut your breast pad. All right, so you cut. Right, so afterwards you can go and use your sewing machine to attach your pad to your dress. Remember, some of these wordings have adhesives behind them. Okay, some of them are fusible, so you can now use your hot iron, your pressing iron, to attach the wording to your dress. Okay, so like so you can see. So some of these wordings come with some of them are fusible, so you can use your iron to adhere the breast part or the wording to your fabric. Or if you're using the one I'm using that doesn't have the fusible parts, you can just use your sewing machine to stitch it down to your fabric then before you start joining or before you start coupling your pieces together. So this right here, this is my center front. All right, so when I attach the pad, the wording to my side pieces and my center front. So what I'll just do is to join them together. All right, so I'll attach the side pieces to the center front. Right, so if you're new to this channel, I didn't forget to welcome you. You know, you guys are the reason I am here. My subscribers are the reason I keep doing this. Thank you so much. All right, so here is my lining fabric. All right, so for my lining, I've used a feasible interfacing. I used the lightest gum stay, okay, or paper stay. That's what it's called. It's called paper stay, and it's very light. So I used it to give my fabric, my lining, stability and structure. All right, so we know that the lining, the spongy lining or upper lining, is also very light. So you also use feasible interfacing to make it stable. So I'll join the lining the same way I joined the fabric. All right, so I've joined the lining together. This is the back side, okay, the two back pieces. You know, the back pieces are in two sides, okay, one for the left, one for the right. Okay, so I've joined them together the same with my lining. So I'll now use the lining to turn the fabric. All right, so I placed the lining and the fabric together, right sides fitting right sides. All right, now I want to shape in my armhole. Now remember that this is a sleeveless dress, okay, so you want to reduce the armhole by at least 1 inch so that the sleeve will not be, or like it won't be falling off from your sleeve. All right, so I'll come in by 1 inch, then extend it to my armhole, just curve it into my armhole, then I'll cut that out. Okay, that way you wouldn't have a sleeveless dress that is poking out from your down your shoulder. All right, so that's how you trim that out. Remember, I joined, okay, I joined the pieces together. So I'll use the lining to turn the fabric, turn the neckline, turn the armhole, the sides and the hem. All right, so the first thing you do is to turn your armhole, then afterwards you turn the hem of the dress. Okay, use the lining to turn the hem of the dress, like what I'm showing us here. All right, you use your lining. Remember, it's right sides facing right sides, so you turn the hem after you've turned the neckline. Then you can now come in and turn the sides. Okay, turn the neckline first, you turn the hem. Okay, then you can now close the zip allowance and the sides, then turn your armhole. Then you can pull out your dress, okay, from the armhole, or you can make a notch somewhere and bring it out. All right, so this is the lining piece for the front. Okay, I've joined it together. All right, so the center front to the side pieces. Okay, so that's how you join. So if you don't know how to join this, please, I have a detailed video on my channel how to join and pad and even iron your princess Dart Bustier. Okay, so I also dropped the link in the description box. So by the time I'm done joining, this is the main fabric itself. So you can see how this pad is standing. Okay, I've padded. You can see the pad from the inside. All right, so when you pad, you notch and iron it properly. Use your tailor's ham to iron it properly. You can see I open down my seams. I open them up to the hem. All right, so now this is my lining fabric for the front. So I've also joined the same way I joined the main fabric. This is the lining piece. Okay, remember my lining piece has feasible interfacing for stability. Okay, so what I'll do is to get the right side of the lining to face the right side of my fabric. Okay, now what I also did to the back, I also reduced the shoulder line by 1 inch. Like I said, you don't want to, it's a sleeveless dress, but you don't want to have it falling off from your shoulder, so you always reduce the shoulder length by 1 inch. It's not going to affect your shoulder measurement. So when I come in by 1 inch, I'll now trace it down to my armhole. All right, then I'll cut that out. So what I've done now, I'll do it to the other side of the shoulder line, okay, or to the other shoulder point. So when I do that, I'll just get my scissors to trim it out. Okay, so if you're making yours as a sleeveless dress, make sure you do this. But if you're attaching a sleeve to it, so there is no point doing this. Just cut out your basic sleeve or whatever type of sleeve you want to make and attach it to your shoulder or to your dress. All right, so the same thing I've done here, I'll do to the other side. Okay, then I'll go turn the neckline with the lining. Okay, after turning the neckline, I'll come to the hem. Okay, and also use the lining to turn the hem of the dress. Okay, then I'll then sew the two sides. then pull them out from the shoulder, or I'll open up one of the sides of the lining, then turn them all out from there. So I'm done turning the fabric with the lining, and I've ironed. You can see how beautiful it's looking already. So look, this is the inside. There are no rough edges. Everything is beautifully and cleanly finished. So this is how you achieve a neat finishing. So you can see the armhole. Okay, so what I'll just use to go to my serger and serge the shoulder line. Okay, so you can see this is what it looks like. So this is the padded area. Look at the princess dart. Look at how it's standing. All right, so this is it for the front, turned beautifully with the lining. All right, so I'll get the back for us to see. All right, so this is the back. After turning with my lining, I joined them together and attached my zipper. Okay, so you can see my zip. I did an invisible zip for it. So because this is how beautiful it looks. This is the zipper, and you can see that everything is turned out neatly. All right, so make sure you iron. The key to a very beautiful dress at the end of the day is proper ironing. So you make sure you iron. Then if you're using a dry iron, you just get a bottle of water, perforate the top or the cap, then use it to sprinkle water on your fabric. Okay, so the perforated cap will just make water to be coming out from there. So I have a steam iron, but for whatever reason it has stopped working, so I make use of this method. All right, so just make sure that you have the things you need. You don't need to get expensive stuff. There are ways you can go around it. Okay, so why my steam iron is not working, my steam bottle water is working. All right, so after that I'll now join the front and the back together. Okay, right side facing right sides. Then I'll go join my shoulder seam and also take in my measurements and sew the sides. Okay, so I'll go join the shoulder together like so. The same thing for the other side. Afterwards I'll then go and overlock, then join the sides together. And that is it on how to couple your pieces dress. Now afterwards, okay, I want to attach some straps to the shoulder or to the armhole that I will tie by the side. Okay, so if you look at the thumbnail closely or what we are making, I'll put it right there on the screen. You will see that it has some straps that you can tie because it doesn't have a sleeve. Okay, so just to spice it up, to create an illusion that there is a sleeve there, so I made these straps. Okay, so the width of the strap is 1.5 inches and the length is around 15 inches. Okay, you just want to tie it. So I made 4 straps, okay, 2 for the left hand side and 2 for the right hand side. So because I made the princess dart, I'm just going to attach it where I have that my princess seam. Okay, I initially did not want to do this. If not, I would have attached it while sewing my armhole so it would be invisible. All right, but what I'll just use to attach it by the side. Okay, on the inside I'll attach the front for the front and the back. Okay, so that it will make up for one sleeve. I can now tie it. Okay, so in between where I have my princess seam, I'll attach it. Okay, you can see the line on the princess seam. All right, so I just put it in between there and stitch it down. Okay, the same thing for the other sides. All right, so I'll just go ahead and couple this together. Right, so like I was saying, if you've watched to this point, thank you so much. Now this is the finished look. Okay, so this is what it looks like on my mannequin. This is it. Very beautiful. So you can see the straps we made for the shoulder. This is how you tie it. Okay, so this is my princess dart. This is the strap for the shoulder. This is a bit big. This is big for my mannequin, so that's why it's like this. But trust me, it's a very beautiful outfit. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel.